get out of a war that is not making us any safer. And we need to treat our returning veterans a whole lot better. We need to make sure that, number one, our military is stretched as thin as it is, and people are going back for the third, fourth, fifth tour in the Middle East. And we need to make sure that when people come home, their physical health needs are taken care of, their mental health needs are taken care of, and they get a good transition into civilian society. I went to law school on the GI Bill, and we need to treat our veterans with the respect that they have earned. And it's not just regular Army, regular Marines, regular Navy, regular Air Force. It's our Guard and Reserve too. So we got some issues we got to deal with. Those were just a few of them. We got a lot more. But in order to do that, you've got to have a president who's got the vision and the ability to get some things done. And you got to have somebody who will reach across some divisions. Reach across some of these divisions that have been wedges that have been driven between us for years now. Reach across some geographical divisions, because the issues in Pendleton, Oregon are exactly the issues in Akron, Mississippi. The issues aren't east-west or north-south. The issues aren't old-young or rich-poor. The issues aren't black-white or rural-urban so much. And they are issues that we all have to face. And until we get a president who's willing to reach across some of those lines, willing to try to heal some of these divisions that we have had, we're not going to make a whole lot of progress. Washington just doesn't work much right now. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
And nothing much happens there. And we got to change that if we're going to make America the country that we know it ought to be. So, you got one more week. One more week. You can vote, as you know, anytime between now and then. But you were willing to come out at 11:30 on a pretty day to listen to some guy from Mississippi. Do some other things. Get on the telephone and make sure that people go vote. That people get their ballot, that they mail it in or they take it in. Make sure that people understand how important this election is, and make sure they know it's a bigger election, and it shouldn't turn on who wears a flag on their lapel, or what happened in Bosnia, in sniper fire or not. And I mean, I'm trying to, that shouldn't determine whether you vote for the other candidate or not. This is a bigger election than these little things that people try to distract us with. Make sure that people understand what's at stake and who we've got as a candidate. You can make 100 phone calls in a week. And I've got to tell you, we'll give you just a few numbers. Barack Obama lost Indiana last week by 11,000 votes out of 1,000,002. Yes, less than 1%. It was 50.4 to 49.6. 11,000 votes. One vote makes a huge difference. I have won an election in Mississippi by 6 votes a precinct. I have lost an election in Mississippi by 4 votes a precinct. That makes a big difference. And if you don't think 1 vote a precinct makes a difference, ask Al Gore. And think about how this country would be different if the election in 2000 had gone the other way. Election. This is an important election. We can't stand 4 more years of the last 8 that we have had. but it's up to you. We've already had our shot in the city. We got Barack Obama at 61%, which is not bad. It's time that we pick the nominee. And I think Oregon is going to have a big say in that. It's the first time Oregon has had a say since 1960. A lot of people, Mississippi included, first time we've been courted, first time we've been important, first time we've been paid attention to in the spring. And it's a good thing. But now it's coming to an end. And we ought to pick a candidate and make sure that that candidate wins in November. And you're the people who can do it. 1 week. We've got 1 week. That is not very long to work for the future. That is not very long to work for our children. It's not very long to work for a better America. So I got one question. Can we do it?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
All right, let's go do it. Thank you. I'll be happy to, as I said, take any questions, comments. Yes, sir. Happy to, as I said, take any questions, comments. Yes, sir.
What is the Obama's short-term plan on reducing the gas prices and helping out the economy?
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what it's not first. It's not a summer gas tax holiday.
Hey.
I want to talk about that just for a second. I mean, this is a typical Washington gimmick. Number one, even if it works the way the folks that said it's going to work, if it works that way, the average family will save 30 cents a day, $28 over the course of the summer. Last time I filled up my car, it took a lot more than $28 to get one tank. Forget about the whole summer. Second, every time this has been tried before, the price goes up. I mean, it's 18.4 cents as a federal gas tax. All that happens if you take it off is oil companies raise their prices by 18.4 cents. We used to pay them $3.62. Why change? So it doesn't go into the pockets of consumers. It goes into the treasurers of oil companies, and they don't seem to be needing it. Right? And third, it devastates highway budgets for states, because about 40% of the cost of all our roads and all our bridges and all our infrastructure comes from this federal gasoline tax, and it's going to put a lot of people out of work when you lose that sort of money. So that's not what it is. What his plan is, number one, there is probably realistically no short-term solution. You got to have a long-term solution. Short-term, the one thing he has talked about is not gas specific, but it is specific to working people, is a $1,000 tax credit to give tax relief to people making under $100,000 a year, and to roll back the Bush tax cuts for the very wealthy. Number two is to invest $60 billion over the next 10 years in rebuilding our infrastructure, our roads, our bridges, things like that, and putting millions of people to work. Number three, it is moving toward new industries, greener industries, and toward new sources of energy, greener sources of energy, and putting people to work doing that.